gross. That's just... I lose my faith in humanity when I see those things, so I'm just not gonna lose my faith in humanity, and I'm gonna learn about some murderers, bro. You know, I'm gonna put some light into my life. Torn apart, oh, that's beautiful. The incest murders? Okay, hold on.
He killed his...
You like Moist Critical? I find him to be severely overrated. Yeah, like, honestly, I think he's one of the most overrated YouTubers I've ever seen. But I mean, that's what I think. But man, people think the opposite. So maybe I'm just retarded. Yeah.
His baby, and he's
So
in the house. Okay, you said that he told you he killed his baby? Okay, ma'am, listen to me. What's your name?
What the fuck?
When an adopted daughter decided to reconnect with her biological parents, she had no idea that it would be the worst decision of her life.
Bro.
Although she may have been looking for a rekindled relationship with her family, that relationship would take a disturbing turn for the worse. What is up, Iwu crew? Today we will be following the destructive series of events that turned a man into a cold-blooded killer. They say blood is thicker than water, but when it comes to this case, it will be proven that father doesn't always know best.
Oh,
Let's
bro,
get
that's
into
kind of
it.
creepy, bro. A dad
As a
dancing
young
with a girl
man
like
in
that
his
is
early
creepy as
20s,
fuck.
Stephen Pladel groomed an underage girl from San Antonio he had met over the internet. He decided to make the trek from his home in New York all the way down to Texas to meet the young girl. The year was 1995, and the girl was 15-year-old Alyssa. The pair's parents didn't stand in the way of their union, even though Alyssa was still a child at the time. The two continued their relationship, and Alyssa soon became pregnant just 2 years after meeting Stephen.
That's pretty steep.
On a January day in 1998...
Wait, hold on. How did he groom her? In 1995, there was no internet. I was born in 1994. How did he manage to groom her? Wait. Internet. Wait. 1992? 1990s? In March 1990. Link between NSFNet and Europe. 1990s. Commercial internet service providers emerged in 1989. Oh, so it is possible it was probably a chat room. It was probably one of those chat rooms, dude.
The young 17-year-old Alyssa went into labor, and together with her soon-to-be husband Stephen, welcomed a little...
What the fuck? She's just puking water,
girl
bro.
into
Go
the
fuck
world.
yourself.
Alyssa allegedly witnessed Stephen physically abusing their infant daughter, who they named Denise. According to Alyssa, he would pinch Denise so hard that he would leave bruises all over the defenseless baby's body.
I mean, what do you
If
expect
that
from a
wasn't
fucking
enough,
pedophile?
she claimed that Stephen would even trap the baby in a cooler and
Bro,
diabolically
what?
wait until almost all the oxygen had run out before releasing her. But these were sadly
Bro, buddy,
only
what's
just
up,
a
dude?
few of the alleged abuses his daughter would
Bro,
experience
what
at
the
her
actual
father's hands.
fuck? What the actual fuck?
Fed up, Alyssa stepped in and did one of the hardest things a mother could arguably do. She decided to give her baby up for adoption so that her 8-month-old could live and be happy.
How about she walks away from the relationship?
Stephen and Alyssa's daughter Denise was adopted by Anthony and Kelly Fusco,
It should be
who were
retarded.
described as very kind and open-hearted people.
She just gave the child up. How about you aren't with a monster? Ever thought about that? Ever thought about moving back with your parents and saying, hey, by the way, the guy I was with was a fucking monster? Like an actual monster. He would have tried to kill my daughter. Ever thought about that?
They renamed the baby Katie, and she was sent to live with them in their happy home in Dover, New York. There, Katie would grow up to become an artistic young lady on her way to college. All the while, her birth parents, Stephen and Alyssa Pladle, remained together and had another daughter nearly 10 years after giving up Katie for adoption.
So this is just
Alyssa
a retard.
felt that they were older now and more mature,
Oh yeah,
and
he's just
therefore
not gonna
more
kill
capable
people.
of raising children.
Sure,
They
buddy.
had a total of 2 children, both daughters.
Yeah, and he probably
While the
fucking...
couple raised their 2 girls, tension between the pair increased. Alyssa said her ill-tempered husband's behavior continued throughout their marriage, saying, he would destroy things in the home when he was upset, punching holes in the walls.
Yeah, it's a
Making
great
matters
idea to have a
worse
child with
was
this
the
guy.
claim that Stephen could not hold a steady job for nearly 8 years, leaving the burden of providing for him and their 2 children on Alyssa's shoulders.
And she's still with him.
Stephen's unpredictability caused great concern for his wife. Alyssa would later describe Stephen's true character by saying, I was always on eggshells, whatever his mood was.
So let's run down the list. So he was a pedo, right? Grooms her. He physically abuses the first daughter. Tries to almost kill her diabolically, right? Like letting her oxygen run out. Then this bitch is like, you know what? 10 years have gone past since you last tried to kill our child. How about I give you 2 more chances and have 2 more children with you? Bro, are you a retard? Like, are you dumb? You're a 30-year-old woman. The fuck is wrong with you?
Everybody knew, and that mood was often not happy. A lot of yelling, a lot of things smashed in the house in front of our kids.
Nah,
Joy returned
she
to
has
Stephen
to,
and
she has to be
Alyssa
fucked up in the
when
head.
they
too.
received a
No way.
notification
There's no way.
on their social media accounts.
Like, he's
It
sick
was
and
from their
she's
firstborn,
traumatized.
Katie, who was now 18 years old. She had turned to the internet to help her track down her biological parents and was successful in locating them. After trading messages, Katie changed her plans of studying art in college. Instead, she moved down to Henrico, Virginia, to live with her newly found biological parents and
why
younger
would
sisters.
you do this?
Katie's adoptive parents were wary
Oh,
of the
why would you
arrangement,
do this?
but decided that she was old enough to make her own decisions. Familial bonds were formed, but Katie's arrival would only push Stephen and Alyssa's marriage further apart.
Yeah, of course, because now he's
Stephen's
gonna want to bang
behavior
her.
changed whenever he was around his daughter, Katie. Alyssa even pointed out that Stephen attempted to make himself look younger by shaving his beard and changing up his
Yeah,
wardrobe.
'cause now he wants to bang
Noticing
her,
the
bro.
growing
He's a
kinship between
pedophile.
Katie and Stephen,
He's a fucking pedo.
Alyssa felt the need to disclose to Katie the abuse she had suffered at the hands of her father when she was an infant. But the news didn't faze
Bro.
Katie. Instead, the father and daughter grew even
Oh,
closer.
okay, yeah, okay.
Things between Stephen and Katie took an awkward turn when the 40-year-old started sleeping on the floor of Katie's bedroom. Growing concerned by the situation, Alyssa asked Stephen why he felt the need to sleep in her room.
Don't even tell me I got the
He
same
became
beard as him, bro.
confrontational and stormed out of the house.
'Cause he wants
Stephen's
to fuck her,
affection
bro.
for his daughter had transcended normalcy. They
Next,
had
he's
fallen
gonna sleep
in
on
love.
the bed with him. Oh!
In November of 2016, still unaware of her husband's and daughter's
God.
intimate relationship, Alyssa moved out and filed for adoption.
Oh wait, she looks like this. I will reserve my comment. I was gonna make a comment. I won't
Divorce
make
from
it.
Stephen. They split the custody of their 2 younger daughters.
Hey, all of a sudden, all of a sudden, I'm not saying I side with the killer. I'm just saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying
And
anything.
Katie stayed
I'm
in
not
the
saying anything.
home with Stephen.
I won't say anything.
Now, with nothing in their way, Stephen and Katie continued their
Oh, bro,
incestuous
come on, that's your
relationship.
daughter.
It wouldn't be until the following May when Alyssa would finally realize the extent of the affection
Bro, you can't
between
cheat.
her now ex-husband and their oldest daughter.
Like, you can't cheat with...
It was a bombshell journal entry that detailed the unnatural relationship. The entry was written by Stephen and Alyssa's 11-year-old daughter. The young girl wrote, "Katie is pregnant. Dad says they feel like couples. Did they get a little too drunk that night?
What?
My dad is..." Adding, "He's Satan. He's Satan. He'll go to hell, but he won't be the one getting tortured. He'll be the one torturing people." In the journal, the young girl drew pictures of both her dad and sister, portraying them as demons. The entry concluded with, "Wait 1 second. If he's Satan and Katie is a human, then the baby will be half demon."
Is the 11-year-old the killer, bro? Was it the 11-year-old? What the fuck?
Horrified about learning of the twisted love affair and the pregnancy, Alyssa later recounted, "I lost it. I started screaming. I felt like I was going to throw up." She then said that she
I mean,
immediately
it makes sense, right? She's got the blue and red hair. It looks like she would just scream over everything. But I mean, I would also scream over this.
called and confronted her deranged ex about
That's
it.
actually fucking insane.
He responded,
That's
"I
ridiculous.
thought you knew. We're in love."
Oh my god, bro.
Alyssa replied, "How could you? You're sick. She's a child."
She's your
Alyssa
child,
tried to
bro.
save her daughter once again
It's
by
not
calling
a
the police
child,
to
she's
report the
your
now
child.
known incest. Although police interviewed the 2 younger daughters, neither Stephen nor Katie were placed under arrest, and they continued living together under the
Standard
same
police
roof.
L, bro. What the
On
fuck?
the warm summer day of July 20th, Stephen and Katie decided to take their relationship
They said,
to
"Mom,
the
it's
next level.
Alabama. It's okay."
They traveled to Maryland to get married.
Oh no,
Father
bro.
and daughter marriages are not legal in the state of Maryland, so the couple lied about being related on their marriage application, and as a result, were able to legally tie the knot.
Oh, bro.
As if the wedding wasn't already disturbing enough, in attendance were Stephen's mother, Grace, alongside Katie's adoptive parents, Anthony and Kelly Fusco.
Come on,
They
dog.
can be seen in many disturbing photos, smiling and appearing to enjoy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He looks hella young. What did he do, bro? He was 40 at this age? Damn, dude, he looks hella young.
As if the
He
wedding
looks
wasn't
good.
already
Look at him.
disturbing enough. In attendance were Stephen's mother, Grace,
I look older than
alongside
him.
Katie's adoptive parents, Anthony and Kelly Fusco. They can be seen in many disturbing photos, smiling and appearing to enjoy the wedding, alongside Stephen and a very pregnant Katie.
Dude, what
Apparently,
the fuck?
Anthony and Kelly Fusco only attended because they felt that all they could do at that point
Support
was
that
support their
daughter.
adopted
Oh
daughter
my
in her
God.
decision once again.
These
A
fucking
few short months
pushover
later,
parents,
on
bro.
September 1st, 2017, Katie gave birth to a baby boy, whom they named Bennett. However, the happiness of their new marriage and
Yo, she looks like that streamer. The Korean streamer? What's her name? What's her name? The girl who was like S-Fan's girlfriend but actually wasn't? No, not Pokemon. Asian girl. She had a waterlathon. She walked around Hong Kong. What's her name? What's her name? What's her name, bro? Asian girl who hung out with S-Fund. Ginny! Ginny. Am I right or am I racist? Am I right or am I on the right? But she's white. No, she's kind of Asian, no?
Young son didn't last long. Stephen and Katie were arrested 4 months later in January and extradited back to Virginia. Police administered DNA tests on Stephen,
She looks like her again.
Katie, and their son Bennett to confirm their familial genetics.
Oh, God.
The two were officially charged with incest,
Oh,
adultery,
God.
and contributing to delinquency. In court, Stephen Pladle's
What
attorney
tomorrow,
tried
Candy?
to
What
justify
tomorrow?
the unlawful marriage by explaining, "This case is an 18-year-old girl who shows up at the doorstep of a 40-year-old man who's going through difficult times with his wife.
Oh, come on.
They have a bond because they're biologically related,
Oh, no.
but they never knew each other before they had a sexual relationship.
Oh, come on.
He was head over heels in love with her, so much so that outweighed the issue of them being biologically related." Stephen was able to post bail and was released first. The judge ordered him not to leave the state of Virginia and to not have any contact with Katie.
And he left.
However, the court did not deny Stephen access to his son Bennett, who was placed in the care of Stephen's own mother, Grace.
Eesh.
To leave the boy with Stephen's mother, who was 72, was described by Alyssa as a shocking failure. She continued,
she's right.
Stephen shouldn't ever have been allowed back to North Carolina, where he had access to his house, his weapons, the baby. I can understand they like to put children in the hands of relatives, but not Grace. She wouldn't have been able to stop him seeing the baby even if she wanted to.
Yeah. Alyssa's right.
Katie was later released on bail and was also ordered not to have any contact with Stephen.
I mean...
She decided to move back in with her adoptive parents in New York. However, Katie broke the no-contact order and called Stephen and told him that she wanted to end their relationship. Heartbroken, Stephen did not take the news well. All he had left in the world was Katie and the baby. Things then took a devastating turn. On April 11th, 2018, Stephen went to his mother's house to pick up his infant son, Bennett, telling her that he was going to take the baby up to New York to see Katie. His mother didn't try to stop him.
I mean, what is she gonna do?
She couldn't have imagined that handing over the little boy would be a death sentence for the helpless child.
What is she gonna do?
Stephen took the boy to his home in Knightdale, North Carolina, where he strangled him and left his tiny, lifeless body shuttered away in a closet. This was only the beginning of Stephen's murderous rampage. He left the house and proceeded to drive 600 miles through the night, up to New York, where he had planned to confront Katie. In the early hours the following morning, Stephen arrived at the home of Anthony and Kelly Fusco. He sat and patiently stalked the family from inside his blue minivan. He was familiar with the Fusco's family routine, and he knew they would eventually leave to visit Katie's adoptive grandmother in Connecticut. As expected, Katie and Anthony emerged from their house and pulled out of the driveway in their Toyota pickup truck.
And he just pulls in immediately.
Stephen followed closely behind in his minivan. Stephen couldn't hold back his rage any longer, and when the Fusco's truck came to a stop, he pulled up beside them and began firing upon them. With every shot fired, he unloaded his fury onto Katie and Anthony Fusco, killing them both in cold blood. An off-duty firefighter was there to witness the massacre and was the one to make the 911 call to first report the double killings. The firefighter described the horrific scene to dispatchers.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Hello, this is Connecticut. It's on Route 7 and Route 55. Someone just went by and shot this guy in the truck.
Somebody just shot somebody in a truck on Route 55, sir?
Yes, right at the beginning of Route 55 and Route 7. It just happened. I'm a fireman out of New York. The car pulled up, went around him, shot him. Whole clip full into his head.
Okay, sorry. Is you still with him?
We're here at the road.
Where? Right at the intersection?
Yes, sir, right at the intersection.
Okay, sir.
He's deceased, boss. The truck's in the middle of the road.
He's dead?
Bro.
Yes, sir. Brains are on the road.
And he was shot. Did you see the person who shot him?
Yeah, we pulled up. There's a whole, yes.
Who? Okay, which way did the vehicle go?
Headed toward New Milford, down Route 7.
Down Route
south.
7? What, can you describe the vehicle to me?
It's a blue minivan with, I believe, a South Carolina plate.
Blue minivan, South Carolina plate?
Good
Yes,
job.
sir. A light blue minivan.
Good man.
Okay, sir, just stay on the line with me.
911 dispatchers
Quick.
soon received another phone call.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely
This time
forgot.
it was Stephen's mother, Grace.
I completely
In the
forgot, bro.
call, Grace described what Stephen had just confessed to her, telling
Oh, the
dispatchers about the dead baby boy and how Stephen had killed Katie and her dad.
He killed his wife. He killed her father. And I can't even believe this is happening. He left the baby dead when he left.
Stephen's mother cried out to the dispatcher. 5 miles from the scene of Katie and Anthony Fusco's slaying, police found Stephen's vehicle, but Stephen was in no condition to be arrested. He had shot himself, and his motionless body sat slouched in the driver's seat of the running vehicle.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
Stephen's ex-wife, Alyssa, eventually looked back on the events and said, "It's been a difficult roller coaster of emotions because I'm so devastated by the loss of Katie and her adoptive dad and baby. But it's such a relief that I don't have to look over my shoulder anymore to see if Steve is there."
Dude, Jeebus Christ. Is this like an older video from him? Yeah, it is an older video from him. You know what he changed in those 2 years? This video just ended abruptly like that, right? Now he would do Evil Crew. What do you think should have happened to him if he didn't kill himself? Or something like that, you know? He would have asked the question. Like, what do you think? How much time do you think he deserved? No, was it because his girlfriend was young or something? No, dude, okay. So, Candy, you weren't here. Here's what happened. This motherfucker in the 1990s, alright, groomed a girl. She was 15, he was 21. He banged her, right? She had her first child at 17 called Katie. Ring a bell? It will ring a bigger bell later when I tell you, okay? So, Katie, that's the daughter, right? Then this motherfucker starts like pinching the girl, leaves bruises on her, etc., etc. Puts the baby in a cooler multiple times, closes the cooler, waits for all the oxygen to almost like end, right? For like all the oxygen to be out of the cooler, then opens it. So he's basically torturing like a newborn child. That's what this motherfucker's doing, right? Then the woman gets the balls to say, you know what? You're a fucking loser. Go fuck yourself. Actually, she doesn't. I'm retarded, bro. I was making up a story that was fake. She didn't do that. She absolutely didn't do that. What she did was she said, well, we can't have the child because we're not good parents and we don't know how to take care of the child. Doesn't leave him. So then they let this girl get adopted, right? 10 years later, this woman has 2 more children with him. Okay? 2 more children with him. She didn't leave him over him being a pedo. Didn't leave him over him trying to kill his daughter, right? Didn't leave him after, like, letting the girl get adopted. Then that girl turns 18. That girl comes over. She's like, hi! You guys are the parents that abandoned me. I'd like to get to know you. Then she says, you know what? I'd like to live with you guys. I'm no longer going to college. I found what I love. And what I love is my daddy. And daddy and her would sleep in the same fucking room. All right? And this Alyssa chick is like, why would he do that? Well, I don't know. Maybe because when he was 21, he was banging you and you were 15. Maybe because he's a fucking pedo. Maybe because he's a fucking sicko. So this woman is like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. I gotta leave. And she leaves, right? And then the 11-year-old daughter starts writing on her books like, my dad is going through hell. And so is my big sister Katie. But my dad won't go to hell and be punished. My dad is going to be the punisher, like the torturer, right? And this girl is like, wait a minute. Does that mean that the child is half demon and half human? Right? And when she read this, when Alyssa read this, she went, oh my God, this fucking fucker is fucking our first child. It's not wincest. It's lincest, right? So that happens. Then they get married illegally, right? And then they have a child illegally. But then the cops come over and like, yo, we're gonna do an IQ test / DNA test. They do a DNA test. Turns out they're all retarded and they're all related. Turns out the kid's parents are related, all right? So then they take him to jail because incest is illegal. Take him to jail. They get over there, right? Then they come out of jail. They post bail, whatever, blah, 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 blah. They pay for... Oh, by the way, on the wedding, the girl's adoptive parents were there supporting her because they said, oh my God, we're going to support that daughter. We're going to support that daughter. Yay! Support that daughter marrying her real dad. Yay! Because Americans are fucking sickos. All right? Because they think, yeah, we're going to support Slay Queen. And they were right there dancing. Right? They were dancing with the pom-poms. Go Queen, go Queen, go Queen, go Queen. All right, and then they get to jail. Then the fucking judge says, you know what? I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you guys go because you're white. And you know what that means? That means you're probably good people. Okay, and you know what happens? People make mistakes. People make a lot of mistakes. You know, people make a lot of mistakes, and I'm gonna let you guys come out if you pay for the bail, right? And they pay for the bail, and then the judge says, but wait, there's more. You can't see your daughter, and she can't see you. Okay? And your child, both of your the child, the one whose parents are related, the 72-year-old grandma is going to take care of him. Yeah, the grandma who, this is grandma, bro. This is grandma. Okay, remember, grandma had a pedophilic and incestuous child, okay? And they're letting her have another child. And grandma's like, with the child here. Thank you, Mr. Judge. Thank you, Mr. So this 72-year-old grandma, right? She's the one taking care of the fucking child now. Then the 18-year-old girl says, you know what? I'm done with you, bitch. You are pedo and you're incestuous. Fuck you. I ain't seeing you ever again. And then this guy goes, no! And he ascends Super Saiyan form and then he chokes his child out, right? Oh, by the way, he goes over to his mom's house and his mom is like, hey, my son, have you eaten? And she's got a tray of cookies, right? But she actually had poisoned cookies because she knew her son was a demon. She was trying to kill him, right? Do you want to eat the cookies? And this guy said, nah, I'm actually on the ketogenic diet. I can't eat that shit. Too many carbohydrates. So he says, I'm actually here for the child. And she's like, no. But by the time she turns around, the motherfucker's already gone with the child, right? Then he gets home, chokes the child out. The child dies, right? Then he drives 6 hours towards fucking New York. He's going. He's going like this, bro. He's going. And then he starts drifting. He's drifting. And then he sees the other person's home, right? He sees the other person's home. The people start driving away. This motherfucker drifting. He drifting like this. Hold on. Let me show you how he's drifting, bro. Arab drifting videos. He drifted like this. Look at this. Hold on, like this. He drifted like this. Look at this. No, but from the inside. No, this is him. This is him in the chase. There's him in the chase. Look at him. He left right there. They're right there. Come on. They're right there. He you know, he's partying because he's probably on a bunch of... And then he sees that these people stop, right? They stop, and so he pulls out the Glock. And he goes, pew, 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 and he's drifting all around the fucking thing. And then he leaves, right? He drifts away. And so his child is dead, right? Both of his children are dead, and now the dad of the adoptive dad is also dead, right? And this motherfucker like, yeah, I did it. But then he comes to the realization that he's done everything wrong in life. He was a pedo. Then he tried to kill his child. Then he fell in love with said child. Then he fucked the child. Then he had another child. Then he actually killed the child. And then he killed another child. So you know what he said? He said, you know what? I'm gonna fucking... And he went like this, and he took the easy way out. So that's what happened in the video. Holy, that's basically what happened. Did you like my recitation? It was a very good recitation, bro. Not gonna lie. It's a very good cook. That was a very good cook. Yeah, I mean, his bloodline's not really dead, is it? The two other girls are still alive. He killed 2 out of 4 of his children. 2 out of 4. 50% kill rate, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck? When cops have to arrest their children? Wait, hold on. Oh, she's definitely on heroin. Oh, she's definitely on heroin, bro. Look, she's looking for more needles. She needs more needles.